Good day, urban educators. It is your host here, Dr. Taisha Noise, here to drop a quick noisy nugget on you for today. As I come to you today, I come to you under sheer inspiration, no prior planning on this one. I just had the privilege of spending the evening with one of my favorite urban educators, a principal out of Watts, and she and I go way back. We go back to the classroom together. She is undeniably one of the most dedicated, committed, hardworking, tenacious leaders and educators I've ever had the opportunity to know. She is a gift to me, somebody who I counted a privilege to know and have as a part of my life. And as I spent time with her this evening, she was just sharing just honest feelings, right, of sheer, absolute, unequivocal exhaustion. Exhaustion, overwhelm, anxiety. Um, and for those of you who don't know, anxiety and depression are often what they call comorbid, right? They sort of live in this sometimes almost unbreakable feedback loop. One feeds the other, right? We get these overwhelming to-do lists, right? And that list creates anxiety. And so we work, trying to clear the list, but people keep adding things to the list. And so we never quite feel finished. And so then when we do try to take time off, right, so that we can relax and we can decompress and we can renew and replenish ourselves, right, then we feel more anxious, right, because we're just worried about the mounting things. And sometimes when we get into that cycle and we cannot break it, we take ourselves to the brink of exhaustion. One of the things I had to learn in personal experience about 5 years ago was that exhaustion can lead to depression, just like stress or grief or any combination of those things or none of those things, right? And so it broke my heart today to hear this friend of mine, this compatriot in the work, this loved one, look at me with tears in her eyes, exhausted and still trying to figure out how to take off, right? She's exhausted, hasn't taken off. And when she did take off, she took off to work on something for work. Recently had chest pains, took off a day, right? And so today I'm coming to you, and the whole reason that I created Urban Scripture was to address these kinds of issues. I don't know about you, but I grew up in the kind of community where self-care was not something I actively saw. As you guys get to know me, you'll get to know my story, but I'm an urban kid. I grew up in South Central LA. Um, in what felt a lot like a single parent household. I did have my mom and a stepdad. None of us knew anything about anything that sounded relatively like self-care. The closest thing we came to self-care in my growing up was going to church. So we get us some Jesus, and then that was supposed to make everything better. But nobody talked to me about taking time off. Nobody talked to me about taking vacations. Nobody talked to me about having hobbies or spaces or places that helped me relax. Nobody talked about anxiety, right? And what it feels like and how it presents. Once upon a time in my other life, I've lived several. In my mental health life, I worked in mental health and nonprofits before I became an educator. I remember sitting in a seminar and hearing a clinical psychologist say, right, that you cannot feel feelings that you don't have language for. And that statement changed my life. I think there are a bunch of us, especially people of color, and even more than that, especially women of color, who are suffering with anxiety, panic, maybe even depression, and we're unable to identify it because we can still get up and go to work, right? We're still making it through our days. And so I wanted to create this video just to remind you that you are worth taking care of, right? If you wake up in the morning more tired than when you went to bed last night, if you wake up with headaches, which could be a sign of a lot of things, including high blood pressure or sleep apnea, my doctor just taught me that. If you're waking up and the last thing that you want to do is the thing that you love, which is teach and educate and work with other educators or whatever it is that you do in the field, this is a moment. This is me coming to you to encourage you to take the time to check in with yourself. Take a half day, take a whole day. I know you hate to take them. I know that writing a sub plan takes you so long that you'd rather just go to work. But sometimes you need a chance to rest. You need a chance to refresh. You need a chance to renew. You need a chance to reset. And if for no other reason than you are worth it. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have joy in your own life. And also, we can't teach our kids to do things that we don't do for ourselves. Our kids will live more by our example than by the things that we have said to them. And so, even if you can't figure out how to do it for yourself, if you have children of your own, do it for them. If there are children in school who you love, who you treat like your own, like I do it for them. But you are worth taking care of. You are worth checking in with. You are worth being refreshed and renewed and revived. You are worth it. You are loved. You are valuable. You are on this planet for a reason. You change lives every day, even if the people around you can't see it and the kids don't yet have the language to tell you, you matter. What you do matters, and therefore you matter. So if you're feeling weighted, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're not feeling well, take the moment, take the time to take care of yourself. And even if you don't believe me, I've got a song by an artist that we all know and love that will remind you why that's so important.
I wish I had more time with y'all, but I don't. But before I go, let me just say these two little baby things. Like I said in the beginning of this Songversation Worthy, Songversation always begins and ends with a prayer. So real quick, this is our ending prayer. I love y'all too. This has been a beautiful night. The rain just made it extra clean and extra adventurous. I love Lake Eden. I hope to be back. I don't know how I got away all this time without saying this, but I have a new album out called Worthy. This is my prayer. I know exactly what you're thinking. I've had those thoughts a million times. I can see the question that's behind your eyes. Oh, you're searching for your peace of mind. Now listen up to this truth. You are me and I am you. Every one of us is worthy. Baby, girl, worthy woman. Every one of us is worthy. I know your life, I felt your pain. I know your joys and your shames. Sometimes it feels like life walks over you, or like you're a penny on the ground. But either on the ground or in your purse, the smallest piece still holds its worth. Every one of us is worthy. Baby, girl, worthy woman, every one of us is worthy. Baby, girl, worthy woman, every one of us is worthy. Worthy of love, worthy of life, worthy of saying no when something don't feel right. This is my song for you, for all the ups and downs that life will put you through. Oh, so listen up to this truth. You are me and I am you. Every one of us is worthy. Yeah. Baby, girl, worthy woman. What? Every one of us is worthy. Baby, girl, worthy woman. What? Every one of us is worthy. Every one of us is worthy. What? Every one of us is worthy. One more time. Every one of us is worthy. One more time.